Hey guys, I'm back to the old format of reviewing movies, and this movie I'll be reviewing is called Thor The Dark World. I just got done watching it, and I felt like it's worth reviewing. It was a really good movie. So let's give a little bit more information before I express why I liked it so much. So there is a species of dark elves that have been in war against the Asgardian people for many years, and the prologue of this movie showcases one of the battles that took place where they were fighting to get the power of the ether. And now the ether is kind of like the Tesseract of this film. It's a big power, but no one really explains why it's there. So once this ether, is taken by the dark elf, it's about to be taken by the dark elf leader, the Asgardian people decide to teleport it to somewhere where no one will find it, or so they think. So then we go back to Earth in London, where Jane, the scientist from the first Thor movie, is with her other friends, and they discover that there are some kind of like quantum energy coming from like one area in London. They go there, some strange things are happening, and Jane gets teleported to the location of where the ether was. The ether then gets transferred inside of her, and she gets possessed. So now it is up to Thor, the Asgardians, to protect her and keep the ether away from the Dark Elves. Now this whole movie centers around the Dark Elves trying to get to Jane and probably trying to kill her to get the ether out of her. Things seem to be going pretty bad, and Thor decides to call the help of Loki to help him get to the Dark Elf world to then carry out his plan. I think the premise of this movie is pretty cool. I feel like this movie has a lot more of an identity than the first Thor, because the first Thor was made just to kind of have another hero in the Avengers series, and not really Hawkeye in there, because Hawkeye didn't have his own movie, yet he was just thrown into there like we're all supposed to know him. So Thor got his own movie because of the Avengers tie-ins that the other movies were doing. And I kind of like that about this movie, that it's aware of what it is, and it even mentions the events of the Avengers. This is Thor after it. I mean, the movie begins, after the prologue, the movie begins with, Loki being handcuffed by the Asgardians, and he's held captive for his actions in New York, because he's a pretty bad dude. Let's talk about the movie itself now. I think that's it for the story. I don't want to spoil anything. You should definitely go see it, though. So what I liked most about this movie, surprisingly enough, were the interactions between Thor and Loki, because now that you've seen their rivalry in action in the Avengers, this is after all of that. My hair is so fucked up right now, but after all of that, they have this huge tension between each other, and it's really interesting to see them interact with each other, because Loki's still the same. He's still mischievous, he's still making all these illusions, and no one can trust him. You never know what's going on in that guy's head. That's what makes him such a compelling villain. And seeing him interact with Thor, getting on his nerves, it's really hilarious. And speaking of hilarity, a lot of the side characters even have a lot of funny moments too. The scientist, the one from the Avengers that got possessed, he's a major part in this movie too, and he has a lot of funny parts. This movie is very good. It set the bar a lot higher for the previous Thor movie, and it has a stronger sense of identity. Let me just tell you, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but the ending leaves on a very high note, and you can tell that there is going to be more. I mean, obviously, and they already announced the next Captain America, which looks great, by the way. And the ending is crazy. And just when I stayed for the credits, because I am aware that Marvel likes to shoehorn extra footage of their movie during the credits, so I stayed for all the pre-credits. That stuff with all the flashy pictures and showing the names of the cast. Yeah, that part. After that, stay for that. There is a very confusing scene that you will see. I couldn't understand it. But, Thor The Dark World. Very good movie. Well worth your time. Go see it while it's still in theaters so you don't have to wait for it to launch in DVD. Unless that's your cup of tea. Then watch it home. But other than that, Thor The Dark World. I hope you had a good time on Ride Time, and see you next time. For Asgard!